Hi everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel, and for today's video I have something special for you because we have an early look and review of this gorgeous sneaker, which is Player 1 Plus in the tulip colorway. As you can see, it is a multi-colored upper from the forefoot to the heel. Ang ganda, it's a multicolored sneaker. So this is the tulip colorway. I usually confuse it with the lotus colorway, but that's another story. So I'll be comparing it with the Player 1 2023, and we'll find out the difference between the two sneakers. But I will start off first with, of course, the material use of the Plus. I'll just call it Plus because the name's really long. So it's actually almost the same material like the 2023, but when you're touching it, it feels a little bit more fused, especially around the threads of this one. It feels more fused compared to the threads of the 2023. And when you're pressing the materials, it feels more sturdy, but it's not too hard, which is good. So it's not as soft as this one, but it's still very sturdy, and at the same time not too crunchy, if you know what I'm saying, that it's overly fused. So this is the right kind of fuse in my opinion, and I think Serious Player only made that, or Spo made that, because it will add up to the structure and support of the sneaker, which I'm not mad about because I like the sneaker to have more structure if it also will give me extra support to the upper. So that's the main difference between the upper, and you can see, I don't know if it's they have different or more fusing, but you can see this multicolored strap. It's not that visible here on the 2023, even if I put it on the light. It has, but it doesn't have this like cables that comes up here, just the wires coming through the 2023 edition. So that goes to show that they really beefed up the support and upgraded support on the Plus, which is, I think, a good way. And you can also see it in the middle side. There's an underlining layer which is also fused when you touch it inside, so that adds a little bit more structure and support to the upper of the Plus. And you can see there's more like straps here in the forefoot part on both sides, lateral and medial side of the Plus. So it really will give you extra support and better lockdown and fit to the sneaker. And that's one thing also that's a major difference between both sneakers. Just put it here in the other camera. So you can see these are both size 11. The Plus is closer to the toe, or the tip of the toe, compared to the 2023. So what it does is it gives more room for adjustment if you are a wide footer. If you're a narrow footer or regular footer, you can adjust it more here. You can customize the fit more. So if you want it to be more loose here because you're a wide footer, you can do that here on the Plus. And also, if you're a regular footer, you can easily crank up the laces and it will give you a better fit to the sneaker, which I think is really nice on the Plus. It's a major upgrade in my opinion. So that's one major difference between the two sneakers that I really am excited with the Plus. Especially, I'm excited for you guys to try it out because it will give you a more customized fit. Because I know a lot of people have been not too sure about the Player 1 because it's a little bit narrow. So if you're a wide footer, especially for wide footers, so if you're a wide footer, fret not, the Plus will be an answer for you because you can easily adjust this more for a better fit, especially if you have a wider foot. As for the tongue of both sneakers, I would say they're pretty much the same. Both have perforations, but on the perforation part, the Plus seems to be a little bit thicker compared to the 2023, or just a different material. But on the tip of the tongue, it's still leather that they use, and at the back, it really depends on the colorway. This colorway, the Tiffany or the blue shell colorway, has a bit more like furry or textile feeling to it, and this one is a little bit more just a normal kind of textile. So doesn't matter with those. It's nicely padded on both sneakers, and you can easily feel the comfort around the tongue part of the sneaker. And now moving on to the heel part, both have the same height. They have the same heel cup, outer heel cup, and as for the inside, they have the same internal heel plate here, so pretty much the same. And the padding on both lateral and medial part of your ankle is pretty much the same. The curve, it's pretty much the same on the padding at the heel, so I would say pretty much all the same in that area, in that department. So let's move on to the cushion of this two, which is they also use the same midsole, insole, but I've heard, I'm not too sure if this is confirmed, but they're planning to put the Plus with two midsole, which is the other midsole, I forgot the name of it, which is really for the Plus. So they'll be putting that, and one on the Player 2023 that we're used to, this midsole, they'll be putting two midsoles in per order. So I think the price will be a little bit higher on the Plus, but you will have two midsole. But on the midsole support, you still have to buy that with that extra shank. You have to buy that if you want that feeling, a more bouncy feeling, more support, more torsion support. If you feel like it's still lacking, you can still buy the midsole support. So as for the playability, it feels almost the same because you're just using the same cushion. I had the chance to try the other midsole on the Plus. It's a lot thinner, it's a lot closer to the ground. So stay tuned for that, because you will feel, for all of you who likes more court feel, you would like that. But if you want more cushion, you're better off using the midsole support or the regular midsole on the 2023. Another major adjustment, or I would say improvement, is the outsole of the two sneakers. But before we go to the traction part, so you can see here on the lateral part, this is the outsole. So it's a little bit lower compared to the 2023, and they put an extra TPU here on top of the outsole. This will give you an extra lateral support to the Plus. So for all of you who thinks or who feels that it's lacking a bit more support on the lateral part, this is the answer. But for me, I've been playing with the 2023s and the Plus. I would say I wouldn't feel the difference that much, but I think that's the main purpose of that, and it will prevent for the over twisting of the Plus. But let's compare it. I would say they're pretty much the same. Yeah, so pretty much the same on that department. But the major difference is the outsole of these two sneakers. You can see it has a different traction pattern. So the Plus has this more like zigzag pattern and like feather pattern. Like when you look at the bird's feather, if they're layered, it looks like that. And this one has a bit more the regular traction pattern, which has herringbone and some dots. And the first thing that you will notice is how thick the rubber patterns are here on the Plus, and it bites really, really gnarly on the floor. If you think this traction is already good, man, this one bites even harder on the floor. So really like the upgrade on the traction, and if you play outdoors, you wouldn't have any problems with the Plus because of how thick the rubber and how it doesn't move that much. So you can really feel it to the touch that it's really hard compared to the 2023 and the regular Player 1. And it's deep, the grooves are deep. So I think outdoor play with this outsole will be okay on the Plus. So I think those are the major difference between the two sneakers. I enjoy playing with these sneakers. I feel very responsive in these. I actually remembered there's one game that I played. I was testing the jump, and I was really having some delays on my movement when I was defending. So I changed up my sneaker to the Plus, and it really makes a difference, especially if you're in a very serious game and you want it to be really responsive on your feet, on your movement, so there's no delay and you want to feel quicker on your step. The player ones, whether it's the 2023 or the Plus, you wouldn't have any problems in those departments. And I would say the Plus, if you have extra budget, you have to cop this. If you have wider foot, the Plus will be an answer for you. But the 2023, it's still a very awesome performer. So as for the weight of these two sneakers, both are size 11. So the 2023, on hand, this feels lighter compared to the Plus, mainly because of the outsole. The rubber is thicker, especially if you look at it on the side view of the sneaker. You can see the rubber compound or the rubber outsole is really thicker, way thicker compared to the 2023. So that's where the weight is coming from. So this is 430 on the Plus and 397. So that's around 30 grams different. So I think it's still pretty light because on feet, if you're playing with it, when it feels ultra responsive and the fit is really good, you wouldn't notice the weight that much. And for 430, still a very lightweight sneaker, but this is lighter. And I think because of the fusing on the upper, there's a bit more fusing on the Plus. So I think that's where all the weight is coming from. So that's it on my review on the Player One Plus and comparing it to the Player One 2023. Let me know which one you would choose, and do you dig this tulip colorway? I mean, this is a very nice colorway. So shout out Spo for making this kind of colorway. It's like a what the colorway for them, and it really has a very nice mixture of colors to it. So, and again, good job. So this has been MARKCHES. Once again, thank you for dropping by this channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.